พูดติดกล้องมันจะได้ไม่เป็นเอาไม่ได้เลย
When we try to train practicing Dhamma, at first we don't really observe the phenomena that this is particularly phenomena of the mind. Other sort of phenomena is easier to observe, like aversion, delusion, and greed. But all subtle phenomena is very subtle. For example, like the mind. For example, when the mind drifting away to the aversions, like to attack other people, when the mind becomes greedy and the mind flow towards the things that we like, and we can observe it. Or when you mind is drifting in the world of thought, it's very difficult as well, because it's even more subtle. When you could see the behavior of the mind that drifting away through six sense doors. When observing the emotions and objects is not that difficult, but to observe the behavior of the mind, your mindfulness and samadhi need to be sufficient to be able to observe them. For other people, when they become angry, they don't really know that they are angry. Their attention moves towards the object that makes them angry. So when we're practicing at first, when aversion arises and we could see the aversion arises, we train ourselves, we could see more and more, we could see that the mind drift away, moved away. For example, when it moves towards the objects that make you angry or moves towards the aversion itself, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to observe because it's more subtle. Practice Dhamma, everyone cannot just jump into this stage of mind. It's like when you're going to school, you have to start from kindergarten, primary school, secondary school. If you walking this path, it's not going to be difficult. But once you jump from stage to another stage by listening to my Dhamma talk, to observe the mind that drift away through six sense doors, and you try to observe it, you can't. You have to, first of all, you have to observe the five precepts. Have intentions to refrain yourself from conduct misdeeds, and try to train your mind to be with the object of meditation or the peace inside. Do not just let the mind wandering around like the dog that has no owner. Keep wandering and hungry. The mind that has the samadhi, it's like when you have a home of the heart. We don't have to wandering away. We have a place to settle down, becomes calm and peaceful. So we come to train ourselves and our mind to gain some calmness and happiness. And then we can upgrade our samadhi to becomes higher, which is the samadhi that makes the mind stable, not just calm. Calmness is easy peasy, but the mind that is stable is difficult to achieve. Why? Because since the beginning of when we are born, our mind is wavering, moving here and there all the time. Therefore, we need to train our mind. One thing is to train the mind to be calm. The second one is train the mind to be stable. So there are two types of samadhi. When we are with the object of meditation for a period of time continuously, that's called Aramanupanijjhana in Pali. And the other one is when the mind is stable and can see the three characteristics. This samadhi called Lakhanupanijjhana in Pali, which can help you to see the three characteristics. The first kind of samadhi is something that a lot of people can achieve, but the second type is rarely anyone can achieve this. Back then it's quite rare, but nowadays they're commonplace. Back then, Master told us to chanting Buddha or observing the breath most of us focusing on the breath or the chanting. After many years pass by and we have no more strength to overcasting and the mind become calm, the mind become happy. Because when you're overcasting, the mind has no happiness. If without happiness, you won't be able to get calmness. At the beginning, Master never told us in details. They just told us to observe the mind and observe the breath, and we have been doing it for years till we understand. With all sort of attempts, we try to overcasting as much as possible that we can become calm. But once you have no strength to proceed on overcasting, then you can become calm. So some of the master told us too that at the beginning it might be a little bit overcasting, and then it will be more relaxing. So at the beginnings, everyone's going to be overcasting for sure. It depends on craving. If you have a lot of craving, then you will overcast to a large extent. On the contrary, if you have less craving, then you will less overcasting. But we can't help it. If there is intention, there's still. But with less intention, we can gain the calmness and happiness. Luangpu Pramote said that smarta practice of calmness will arise when there is no intention, and once the vipassana practice arises is when there is no thought. And what am, but I teach you in details because most of us nowadays have less smarty because our mind is wavering all the time. We just keep looking at our phones. So I explain in more details. We can observe our heart. When we want to be the object, when we want to be with the object of meditations that make us calm, we have to choose this wisely. What kind of object of meditations make you relaxed and comfortable? Be with that object of meditation. When I was young, I used different kind of objects, different kinds of samadhi. For example, be with the chanting Buddha or the breath, and the mind became calm. Sometimes I observe the ripples of the water. The ripples of the water makes me happy and relaxed, and mind becomes calm. In the evening, I went on up on the roof and looked at the sky. The birds chirp, the bird flying to its nest, and the floating of the clouds. Clouds moving here and there is actually the casino, the wind casino. And when you observe the ripples of the water, that's the casino of the water casino. When you breathing in, breathe out, and become self-aware, that's the wind casino. When you observe the emptiness on the tip of your nose, that the emptiness casino. And when you observe the temperature of the breath, then that's the fire casino. But nowadays, it's gonna be a lot bit more difficult to do like this. If you can't, you can do what you can. You can observe yourself with what what kind of object meditations that makes you relaxed and comfortable, and then your mind won't waver and go here and there. And you have to be with the object meditation in a relaxing manner. You don't have to force the mind to be fixated with the object meditation. Otherwise, the mind becomes stressful. Once the mind becomes stressful, the calmness wouldn't arise. The mind needs to be happy so that the calmness samadhi can arise. So we have to choose wisely the object meditations that make us happy and relaxed. The second one, we have to know the way to perceive that object meditation with the normal mind. Do not use the craving mind, greedy mind, or stressful minds. Otherwise, the mind won't be calm. So if you can understand this one, this is actually the know-how. Back then, Master never taught us anything like this. But nowadays, people are very lazy. So they won't comply with that, so I explain more details. But I spent many years to discover these techniques. So I know this tactic. Once, if you want to be calm, then you'll be with object meditation, which is depends on individuals. Each happiness of each individual are different. Some people in Mahayana t- text, it said that some of the Lord Buddha explained exposed Dhamma by his voices. Some people by image, some people by odors. Some people, for example, when we smell something, the smell something is not it's bad odor. Sometimes it's good odor. Like when some people, when they were young, they live near the garbage pile, and then when he grew up, he went to different places, and there's a lot of places that have a smell very good. But once they go back home with a heap of piles of garbages, the mind just like it. It makes their minds happy. If you can observe the mind that's happy with a normal, natural mind, without forcing it to be calm, then the mind will become calm as soon as possible. Any object limitations that make you happy is different from individuals to another individual. The important thing here is that you need to have the natural, normal mind, the mind that is happy. If you have this kind of mind and observing the objects, there was one master, Majandi. Yeah, she already deceased for many years. She's very good. She has psychic powers and very good, and very competent, and then adept. If she was a male, then she would be a great master. But she's woman. Um, she taught her disciple that when she said that the breath make contact with the tip of the nose, and she taught her disciple that to know this in relaxing way, whether it's calm or not, that's fine. It doesn't matter. If you want it to be calm, then the mind wouldn't be calm. Just do it. That's the trick. You just know it with a non-struggling mind, with a relaxing mind. So you can choose the object meditations that are appropriate to you, and be with the object meditation with a relaxing mind. Without any craving, then the mind will become calm instantly. Especially when you practice very diligently, then the mind will become calm very easily. This is the first kind of samadhi. It's very useful because it makes your mind calm and get some rest. Once the mind can get some rest, the mind gains some strength. Once the mind gains some strength, without using it, the mind will work according to the its will, which is the defilements. Observing, seeing different things, and it's fun, and it can take you a wrong path. But once you have the strength of the mind, you should practice and train your mind to gain the stable kind of samadhi. You cannot command the mind to be stable because the mind is anatta, is non-self. You cannot command it to be calm. To practice the mind, to train the mind to become stable, you have to be mindful of the mind that is not stable. The mind that is not stable is the mind that is drifting away through six doors. Keep on observing like this. So those who can have the stable samadhi, stable mind, you have to be competent at observing the mind. So the lessons that makes you attain the stable mind is called the mental mind lesson, Citasika in Pali. You cannot command the mind to be stable. You have to know the mind that is not stable. So that's the way we can achieve it. As soon as you know the mind that is not stable, then the non-stable mind will fall away, and the stable mind will rise automatically as soon as we know it. the stable mind will replace the non-stable mind. But it happens from time to time, from one moment to another moment. It's unlike those who practice jhana, they can achieve the stable mind for a week, up to a week. But for the rest of us, our stable mind will arise and fall away, rise and fall away from moment to another moment. Actually, most of the noble ones walk this path using the mind that stable from for a moment. It doesn't need. It doesn't require everyone to gain the access level or the absorption level of samadhi. Those who can do that, they can cultivate wisdom through the jhana and see different jhana factors arising and falling away. When you retreat from, get out from the jhana to the access level of samadhi, they can observe different parts of the body through the power or the strength of the access level of samadhi. But one of the drawback is that there's a lot of visions, and people can become deluded in vision very easily. But for momentarily samadhi, we wouldn't deluded in them because we don't see different things. It just happens from time for a moment. As soon as we know that the mind that drift away, then drift away mind will fall away, and then the stable mind will arise. That's the principle of it. So we cannot command the mind to become stable. Instead, be mindful of the mind that is drift away through six sense, for example. Like what I said is quite difficult in the beginning. Observing the mind drifting away through six sense, it takes time by meditating on an object. And once the mind drift away to things, no so, drift away again, no so again. Train like this. Once your mind, you'll become competent at knowing it. Then if the mind drift away to see, drift to smell, drift to taste, drift to feel the body sensation, no so. It keeps on, you will start to making progress in knowing through six senses. But in the beginning, you just observe the mind that drift away to the mind that keep on drift away to think. We keep on training like this till the mind becomes stable. Once the mind becomes stable and it possess the happiness and strength as well, then you can cultivate wisdom. If the mind is stable truly, the mind will be already separated. The mind, the aggregates are already separated naturally. That we observe the five aggregates as one single entity, we have the wrong perception that there is us or this particular thing belongs to us. But if your mind is stable and recognize the body, see the body is not us, the feeling is not us, recognize the perception is not us, mental formations, they are not us, even the mind itself is not us. We keep on training like this. At the beginning, it's gonna be like we try to separate the aggregates, meaning that we don't have enough right samadhi. But if your mind truly stable, the aggregates already separated naturally. If it comes together as a single entity, there is only one. It's not five. But five aggregates comprises of five parts. Without enough samadhi and wisdom, then we have wrong perceptions. We think that there is one single entity as us, and we have a wrong perception, wrong thoughts that there is us here and there. Whenever we think there is an us and me, I, and then we have wrong thought, wrong view that there is an us, there is an I in this world. So your mind needs to be stable in order to cultivate wisdom. This is the path that we can take. First of all, we need to have the morality and train the mind to become stable and calm, both two types of samadhi. If you can practice both two types, that's the best. But if you can only achieve one thing, you should practice the mind to become stable. At first, the mind might be stable, like not much to a less extent, but when you keep on practicing and seeing the mind rising and falling away on and on, we just have to adjust the mind a little bit to observe, for example, the emptiness of the mind or the space in front of us, or see the nothingness. There's nothing. They can achieve the calmness. So at the beginning, it might be difficult, but once we keep on practicing and become competent at achieving this, then it's not difficult. When you cultivate wisdom and see each aggregate under three characteristics, that they are not us, that not belong to us, only things that suffering, non-self, and impermanence. What I've been teaching you, you might not understand now. You have to take action. Some people listen to 10 or 20 years but couldn't understand. But you have to, therefore, you have to do formal meditation. If you can do walking meditation, that's good, because the samadhi derived from walking meditation is strong, stronger than samadhi achieved from sitting meditation. If you're sitting and sitting meditations, the mind becomes stable, then that's good. But if you move the and and you can cultivate mindfulness in daily life very easily if your mind is stable, which is derived from the walking meditation. Because in daily life we use different we making contact through six senses. The mind keep on working and circling all the time. But if you can train the samadhi from walking meditations, the mind can gain a lot of strength. And once the mind drift away to things, you can see it. Sometimes you walk here and the mind goes to see, you can see it. The mind will gain a lot of strength. Now, I have told you to walking meditation for about 3 hours. A lot of people can do it. And a lot of people can do it. And once they can do it, the mind changes. When I see people, I don't really talk much. I don't really teach them much. I just ask them to see that you're already changed. And then they reply, yes, he could see them by themselves. The wise men can see things through them by themselves. They don't have to ask other people. Keep on practicing. Yesterday, I told about one sutra. Anyone listened to the sutra yesterday? Please raise your hand. If anyone haven't, then you can go look at it. Anuttaraya Sutra in Bali. This is the phenomena that the ultimate phenomena, which is the see, to listen, to be educated, to have the great faith and confidence, and also to educate yourself through the morality, samadhi, and wisdom, and to take care, great taking care, and great recognition. There's all six great things. The first great thing is to see the Lord Buddha or his disciple. When you can, and then the great listening. Great listening meaning that you can listen to Lord Buddha and or the disciple of Lord Buddha. And the great achievement when you achieve the confidence in or the beliefs in his Lord Buddha or his disciple, or and the fifth one is when you have the great lesson, you get to learn from Lord Buddha and his disciple. And the sixth in when you have the great taking care of Lord Buddha or the disciple. And the last one is when you have great recognition to recognize according to Lord Buddha and his disciple. Lord Buddha never refused his disciple. He cherished his disciple. I used to read something so many years ago. At the beginning of his enlightenment, there is no disciple yet. So he contemplated what kind of things he used to depend on. Lord Buddha think that what sort of things that he could use depend on. There's no human or celestial beings that better than him. So he used the Dhamma and as something he could depend on. And for him, once the Sangha arises, he uses Dhamma and Sangha to depend on. So he never uh, refuses his disciple. You think that his teaching was all over the places. There are some taking care, listen, learn, or recognition. These six things are not related. But if you take a closer look, his his Dhamma is very miraculously. Each phrase of his Dhamma is not all over the places, but actually it's uh, joined together beautifully. Like at first, when we see Lord Buddha or his disciple, once we see him or them, we get to listen. When we get to listen, then it gives rise to the confidence and faith in them, and then we have the intention and diligence to practice and to learn Rati, Samadhi, and wisdom. Once we get to learn, then the mind feels like we want to taking care of them, Lord Buddha and his disciple or masters. The mind will go along this path, and the mind will have this mindfulness to recognize Lord Buddha and master from time to time. When I practice through my experience, I actually walking this sequence. At first, I went to meet Master Luangpu Dun, and I get to see him. But I don't just stare at him. Some people like to become to look at the masters. Some people went to different places like Ban Jit Sabai or Mosotho to see Luang Po, which is called Kuru Tasana in Bali. This is less benefit to see the masters and the mind become joyful. It's beneficial, but you have to move on to the next level, not just stopping at seeing. Once I see Master Luangpu Dun, I went to pay respect and sit beside him, and ask his question and listen to his answer. I have listened to the disciple of Lord Buddha. That's the great listening. Once you have acquired this great listening and you think that's reasonable, he taught that you have to observe your mind or read your own mind. And I was like, it's a aha moment when all kinds of wholesome and unwholesomeness and fruit arises from the mind. To observe the mind can allow you to see observing the wholesome and unwholesomeness and the fruits. This all rooted in the mind. The mind become excited and give rise to the faith and confidence in his teaching. This is the third one. And then you have the great faith and confidence in the religion. And then you come to learn and educate yourself how to practice. He taught us to observe. He taught me to observe my mind and move on to the next level to proceed on practicing morality, samadhi, and wisdom. when you educate and take action, after some time, you could see the result by yourself. The wise men could see it by themselves. The mind never been awakened, it's awakened. The mind never could see that its own departments, could see more and more of it. It gave rise to the love and care of the masters, and we want to taking care of them, to attend to the master, not just only for things, for factors, uh, to give away, to give for things, for factors, to for basic needs um, to to the masters is one thing, but the other thing is when you offer them your practice, the mind of the master will be blissful. For example, when I submit the homework to Master Luangpu Tet said that if he got so many disciples like me, then he would be like more than 100 years old because his mind is very joyful that his disciple practicing and seeing the fruits of the practice. The mind of the master will be blissful and joyful. To offer him with the material things, it's gonna be a little, it's indifferent. His mind will be indifferent because he doesn't really cherish those things. But for the Dhamma practice that disciple offer, that's the best offering. And master don't feel like they become exhausted or then doesn't waste his energy. So if you want to attend me, you don't bring different medicines, Chinese medicines or Thai medicine or any or the ghost medicine, those kind of meds. If I take all these kind of medicine, I would when I die, I would become mummified by myself and I would stay very long because there's nothing here. Um, and I was low level government officials back then. When I offer him money and stuff, I couldn't do much. But to offer him my practice, I can do to large extent, making master happy. And when I get to listen and to see and to educate them myself with the Dhamma of Lord of Masters, and the mind become have a joyful temperament, and I could recognize him all the time, like memorize, like thinking of the master many times a day, many hundred times a day. I I thinking of Master Luangpu Dun when I was a lay person. When I talk like this and I think of him and whether he's gonna blame me or compliment me, I feel like that. When I listen to this thing, and I was wondering if he's gonna condemn me or not. The mind will keep on thinking whether it's listening or smelling or tasting or thinking. Whether I do this, whether he will compliment or complain to me. Keep on thinking of master. This is when I have the mindfulness of the masters. This is the sixth part, six factors of the Anuttaraya Sutra in Bali. When I get to see, I keep on listening. When I'm listening, I have faith and become diligent and practicing what he taught. And then the mind becomes want to attend the masters, want the master to stay longer and longer. And the mind keep on thinking about him or keep thinking of the master all day. And when you have this, and you have to have the solitude as well. Solitude is when um, you think of the masters and you um, go clubbing or shopping or washing. the series all the time, then you don't have the solitude, or you want to go to different parties and talking and going out, then you're not a good disciple of the masters. But if you're thinking of the master, you don't want to get involved with anybody. You want to train your mind and your mind to become calm and peaceful. Want to learn the truth of the body and mind, to suppress all the defilements and get rid of them. And you have the solitude regarding to the mind, the body, and if you have this anusati, then mindful of the master, recognizing the master, thinking of the master, then you'll be satisfied with the heedlessness. You won't be um, feel that you feel naive and think that you can stay a very long period of time. Your job is not done, and there's still a lot of defilements to fight against. The mind will incline towards the accelerated your practice without become heedless, and have the wisdom to take care of yourself. Which behavior you should do, which behavior you shouldn't. And the last one, that you have the morality or the precepts. If you have these things, then you can gain access to the end of the suffering. After one point, at some point, then you can gain access to the end of the suffering when the time comes. So if you walk this path, you can see, listen, give rise to faith, and be diligent at practicing morality, samadhi, and wisdom. The mind become gently inclined towards the Master and Lord Buddha, and the mind keep on thinking of the Master and Lord Buddha constantly, and you're with the solitude is actually the opposite side of the chaos, and you won't be heedless and thinking that you'll stay forever. When you become satisfied through the Dhamma, the fruits won't beyond our reach. When the time comes, you can gain access to that. That was Lord Buddha taught us. Yesterday, I taught that you shouldn't cut off the teachings of the disciple because, and today I would concentrate that you should preserve the five precepts. If you don't, and you have to practice Dhamma, and then the Nibbana won't be out of reach. Without walking this path, then you won't be able to achieve it. That should be enough for today. I have to tell you this in advance. There was one stuck Buddha image. I think that I will give away the Buddha image to people who forgot. For those who never, and Bhajan asks that why you put the Buddha image here. I I felt that I am afraid of giving away, so I put it here. And Bhajan laughed. This kind of thing is very minor, and I easily forgot for the old people. Number one, very good. Go on. I try to maintain the five precepts and do formal meditation for about 2 or 3 hours. I intend on doing it without quitting. When I start practicing it, start become overgussing and try to observe the mind that is not neutral. Sometimes I can observe it, sometimes I cannot. I can see aversion and conceitedness all the time, very often. And in daily life, I could see the feelings in the body. Could you kindly advise? Luang Por said that go on, keep on practicing. I actually practice like what you do when I was a lay person. So keep on practicing. The fruit isn't out of reach. If you have morality, samadhi, and wisdom enough to see the three characters of the body and mind with the good precepts, the mind is stable and be with yourself. You have the morality, you have the mind is stable. Once you cannot cultivate wisdom clearly, then you come back to the calmness samadhi. But you shouldn't wait till the samadhi depleted. You have to set aside some time to do samatha practice. Number one is very good. It's really good. Anumodana. Anumodana means that I become feel glad when you feel glad of other people achievements. People said there's an old saying in Thai old saying uh, meaning that when for example when some people in a position of powers and once they become retired nobody cares. Number two, I chanting the mantra and the breath, observing the breath. Sometimes I could listen to the wave, and I could see some wave of the brain. I think that the mental factors, once I look to see it, it keeps on happening, and I submerge in the object. I could see two poles of the mind very clearly. Suffering, happiness, unsettledness. The mind is not neutral. When I could, when I discovered this, the mind is heavy. The body is heavy. The mind is very tight and tense. And I could see um, tiny things arising. And can you kindly advise, please? Luangpu said that you should practice more. When your mind becomes disheartened, these happenings from time to time, the mind becomes disheartened also. Do not try to fix it. If it disheartened also, whatever defilements arises also, it happens, it applies to all kinds of defilements. Number two, sometimes the mind is like becomes disheartened a little bit. It happens from time to time. Do not agitate. Do not try to fix it. If it becomes disheartened also, know it with the neutral mind. Then the mind become excited more, energized. Back then and now is different. Could you see that? Could you see the difference? When you're talking to me, the mind gains some strength, but just now it's very disheartened, this drop like that. It's become like a flowers, um, like flower going down. Sometimes it's blooming, sometimes it's going down. Do not make it going down for a long period of time. But if it happens, no, so do not let it happen like that for a long period of time. Do not sink into it. Do not attach to the that state of mind. Just energize yourself and try to feel yourself feel like that good. But do not do it all the time because it makes you exhausted. But if your mind hasn't gained enough strength, then it wouldn't going down like that. What you practice is good. Keep on practicing. Do not ignore the samadhi. Your strength of the mind is not enough. Number three, I practice formal meditations and walking meditation, and I think that the mind is stable. And when I cultivate wisdom, I can see the phenomena. I'm not sure whether I can see it truly. Someone said that you could observe them, but you're still accustomed to overcasting and incline the mind towards the stillness. If you can see it, that's good. When you incline your mind towards the stillness, it means that you want to see the phenomena clearly and continuously, and you tend to overcast it. When your practice is good, you have to adjust a little bit. Once the mind goes to overcasting, no, so not incline the mind towards the overcasting. Number 4, I hold on a sec. Number 1, you just drift away. Number 4, chanting and sitting meditations, observing the breath, breathe in, breathe out, though, in the morning and evening, about 30 minutes a day. Once the mind making contact with the sound, the mind goes to see and then comes back to the breath, breathe in, breathe out, though, and the mind becomes calm. Each day, I try to forgive all kinds of contact makings and become indifferent. Try and let go. Could you kindly advise? Luangpo said that keep on practicing. What you practice is not wrong, but you have to be careful for one thing. Do not make the mind like this. Do not make the mind still like this. Let go, let the mind work, and be mindful of the activities of the mind. Number 4, you have more strength of the mind, you get better, and you can know it by yourself. Once your mind gains some strength, they can cultivate wisdom. See the body moves, see the mind moves and working. Keep on observing. Good. Be not hurry. Do not hurry. The more you hurry, the lack you slow you are. If you hurry, like eating, like having meals, you'll be suffocated. Likewise, practicing Dhamma, keep on practicing. The mind drift away, number 4. The mind drift away to the well of thoughts, no so. The body moves, no so. Number 4, try to observe, try to sense the body as much as possible. Once the body moves, just no so. Do not faking it. It's unnatural. The mind will become tight and the body is already moving all the time, constantly, all day. So you have to sense the body moving. Then the strength of the mindfulness and samadhi will be better. Your cultivate wisdom will be more smooth. Good. Number 5. Walking meditation and sitting meditation and chanting Buddha about 1 hour at a time, about 3 times a day, about 3 months already. During the day, I try to chanting Buddha and observing the breath in and breath out, and watching your life teaching and the mind conversion said that the body is not us and why we born here. What sort of phenomena is it? What's the last phrase? This phenomena. What is this kind of phenomena? You don't have to choose the name for it. Something arises and something falls away. You don't have to think of the name. You don't have to try to name it. It doesn't matter. Come back. Do not come back inside like that. Open your eyes. Good. Yeah. Do not incline the mind towards like that. It's waste of time. Just be mindful. You see that the mind moves. Number 4 and 5. You're old already. When you become older and older, just observing the mind is make you become drowsy. So use the body. Once the body moves, no so. Then you gain some strength of the samadhi. Otherwise, you become drowsy very easily. Number 6, I walk meditation, see the body moves and the mind as an observer. I can see the mind that moves to think and overcasting and with the stillness. I use the body as an object of meditation. Good. Keep on practicing. It's got better and better, better than before. If you become confused, know so as well. But your practice is good. Keep on practicing. You don't have to struggle. What to do to make it better. There's no other way. Your mind gains some strength and stable. Your mind's fitness is left. You just have to wait till it improves by itself. We cannot accelerate our progress. Do not try to searching for the way. The harder you find, the slower you get. There's no other ways apart from cultivating mindfulness. Number 7, I walk meditation about 30 minutes to 1 hour a day. I observe the body move and breathing and observe the mind. The mind sometimes is stuck in a place where it's stuck or it's constantly stuck. Or sometimes it drift towards the breath and overgussing. Once I know so, the mind will becomes still and restless. Sometimes when there's talking, the voices in my head, observing the mind, it drift away easily. Observing the body is very overgussing. Sometimes it's so tight that I have to stop walking. During the day, I observe the aversion and conceitedness. I'm not sure whether my mind is stable. Now, your mind is not stable. You have intention to make it stable. Do you see that? You have intention to make it still. The craving is the one that commands you to do this. You're craving for goodness and to practice. These are defilements. It wouldn't arise together with the mindfulness. So do not have a lot of intention. Just be mindful and sense it. Sense the body moves, sense the changes of the mind. What you practice is good. What I told you that makes your progress more. Do not force the mind to be still. Just let go. Be brave. Please see that the mind is moving, moving here and there. Otherwise, your mind will stuck in the stillness. Now it's good. Number 8. I walk meditation at least 1 hour a day. I do sitting meditation sometimes. During the day, I try to observe the body moves. Now, the things that I stuck is the mind is lack of strength. I become drowsy and have no mindfulness. I deluded in the objects very easily. You can kindly suggest me. Luangpu said that your strength is not enough. Your strength of the smart is not enough. You have to do smarter. Without smarter practice, then the mind becomes drowsy. I used to be just like this. It happens like it. I try to cultivate wisdom, but once the mind becomes so exhausted, it's asleep. If you like chanting and pay respect to the Lord Buddha's image and the object with the and stay with the object of meditation, and the mind can get some rest, then the mind won't be asleep. Now the mind is exhausted. That should be enough for today. The monk said that anyone that never got the Buddha image from me line up. There are a group of people, not like 100. There are only a group of Buddha image.